Boston, and 2010 Robert Richard Trophy winner, Sidney Crosby!
Last time they were facing elimination in the 7th game on home ice was 96 for the Florida Panthers. Before that, 93 to the New York Islanders. Two teams, much like these Canadians, who caught the Penguins by surprise and beat them. 3 seconds to go, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that is it. The Montreal Canadiens have dethroned the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we have seen the last hockey game to be played at Mellon Arena here tonight.
Sid, how strange was it to go home in May instead of June for the first time in 3 years?
It was different. Not something we want to make a habit of, but you know, I think if anything, we appreciate how tough it is to get to the finals and play till June every year. It's not easy, and you need a lot to go right, but you know, it's something we'll learn from.
Could you still enjoy the summer? I mean, you were going to have a vacation anyway at some point, but it came a little earlier than expected.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you want to be there every year, but you know, when it doesn't happen, you make sure that you make the most of your time off, and you know, I think if anything, you come back the next year a little more motivated, and but I think, yeah, you try to make use of that time, and I think that's something we all tried to do.
The season ended on a sour note, but it began well.
And here comes Crosby. To the forehand, and he buries it behind Bocoon. The Penguins get the edge in the shootout. And if he doesn't score, the Penguins win. Here he comes against Johnson. His shot. Johnson gloves it and makes the save and wins the game for the Penguins. Beautiful finish for Brent Johnson. What a way to go.
How confident were you? How confident was the team with the 9-1 start you had to open the year?
We were happy. I mean, a lot of teams, after going to the finals, have trouble, you know, especially from the start. So we were pretty confident, and it started well. We battled a lot of injuries throughout last year, so you know, that was the start we wanted. But it's not easy. I mean, you go through a lot of different things, and you know, the season's more than just a start. Obviously, you want to start well, but you know, I think for any team, if you start off that strong, that's always a good sign.
Shortly after that start, Evgeny Malkin goes down with a shoulder strain. Lose him for about 2 or 3 weeks. It's not the first time that he's gone down with an injury and you've stepped it up a little bit, and vice versa. Did you once again think that there was a need to kind of elevate your play to kind of fill the void left by his absence?
Yeah, I think when anyone gets hurt, everyone kind of feels that pressure, but you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself to do that either. You don't want to start changing things and, you know, like I said, putting that pressure on yourself.
Crosby in front, looks for the hat trick, a shot, he scores! Sidney Crosby with his 3rd career hat trick.
I think for us, we all tried to step up, and I think when Gino was out, we ended up losing a few guys all at the same time. So, yeah, I think you just try to make sure collectively as a group that you find a way to hold on until those guys get back.
In November, you guys played about 500 hockey, which is fine, but the power play dipped a little bit in comparison to the success you had in October. Has consistency bothered you at all as far as the power play over the last couple of years? Because you look at the weapons that you guys have, and you would feel that you would have more success more often than not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that, especially the first half of last year, we kind of had trouble with. But again, we missed guys at different points, and you know, I think our focus and you know, our mindset has always been in the right place. But unfortunately, we haven't got the results we want, especially in the regular season. And if you look at the last 2 playoffs, I think we've been at least 1 or 2, both playoff years. So, you know, it's a matter of bearing down this season, but that's something that could really make a big difference in the area we want to be better in.
Now Crosby's got it. Still 2 minutes to go in the overtime period. We're going to go by that. Here's Malkin firing and a save. Rebound and score! Sidney Crosby wins it for the Penguins. An overtime game winner for the 2nd time this year. He scores the decisive goal in an extra period against the Florida Panthers, and the Penguins win it by the same score they did in Pittsburgh on October 23rd. The final score, 3-2.
As you said before, you play for a Stanley Cup championship every year. But how hard would it have been on the body and maybe on the mind as well to play in a third straight final? And that's a long season.
Yeah, that's tough, especially with the 2 years we had previously, and the Olympics and everything tied in. But I think if you ask any guy, we wouldn't have complained, not one bit. So it's tough. It's tough. I mean, the fact that two teams, got to the finals 2 years in a row, the same two, that's pretty impressive in itself. But 3 times is even tougher. So no, it's something where you want to be there and you want to do all the things it takes, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And if anything, like I said earlier, it's more of an appreciation, I think, when that happens for how hard it is.
Can you remember the mindset of the team as you got ready to start the playoffs last season? We've been in Ottawa before for the playoffs between the Penguins and Senators, but was this team as hungry as it was to start the postseason last year compared to the year before?
I think we were. I think that we knew what to expect. The last couple of playoffs were pretty fresh in our minds, so we had a good idea of what it was going to take and what we needed to do.
Defensive position. Started it. He scores! Pascal Dupuis wins it for the Penguins, and they are going to the second round. Pascal Dupuis' first goal of the series as the overtime game winner.
Yeah, I think that the hunger was there. I don't think we would question that at all. We probably didn't execute and do the things that maybe we did the previous couple of years, but I don't think it was a lack of not wanting it by any means.
I don't want to take anything away from Montreal, but what did they do so well, and maybe more importantly, what were you guys not able to do against them in round 2?
It was weird. I don't think we ever felt like we didn't control each game. If we were to look at each game, I felt like we had tons of chances to win those games that we didn't, and even in Game 7, I mean, as bad as it started off, it was 4-0. It was 4-2, and we had 4-on-3 in the start of the third, and had a ton of chances. And who knows, we might have found a way to come back. But I think it's timing, and anytime you win, you get that big goal when you need it, or you hold a lead that you have. It's different things, but you need those big plays, and we didn't really get them against Montreal, and for whatever reason that was. But looking back, it's one of those things where we never felt like we were going to lose. We felt like we had control of the series.
I know in a perfect world you would have loved to have gone around the ice at Mellon Arena one last time holding the cup. We're in your new home now, but how hard was it to walk off that ice considering all the things that you did at Mellon Arena for 5 seasons?
Yeah, it was tough. There's a lot of great memories there, and we wanted the last one to be a winning one, but didn't work out that way.
There's one special hockey team. One character bunch. Crosby, first to raise his stick, and everybody joins in. Ian Bilesman shakes his hand. The fans were absolutely sensational here tonight, trying to help the Penguins come back. One of the loudest crowds I've ever heard at a Penguins game.
Unfortunately, before the building did close, we had one Stanley Cup, there, and as far as the group of guys we had, so 3 total isn't bad for a building, and we look forward to some great memories at this new building. So it's not the way we wanted it then, but we're looking forward to starting off fresh here.
It's a new season, and you have some new faces. What do you think some of these guys bring to the squad for 2010?
A lot of different things. I think it's one of those things that's going to help our depth, the guys that we added, at defense, at forward, right through our lineup. So, you look at the teams that have success year after year, they have a lot of depth, and you know, with injuries and with different things that go on, depth's always going to prove to be a big factor. So we have that.
How impressed are you by what Ray Shero's been able to do, not only at the trade deadline, because people seem to talk about that a lot, but as far as his free agent acquisitions in the offseason?
Yeah, you know, every year he seems to find a way to make us better, and as a player, as a team, that's what you ask for. That's what you want. I mean, you want that opportunity every year to win. You want, you know, that opportunity every year when you come to training camp to feel like you're the team to beat, and he does that. And you know, that's a fun environment to be in, and it's a great mentality to have as a player, knowing every time you go out there you have a chance to win. So we're really lucky, and he's certainly done a great job year after year of making sure that we're competitive and, you know, giving us all the opportunity in the world to win.
I don't want to go too far into the season, but I do want to take you to January 1st. You've done the Winter Classic thing before. Perfect in almost every possible way. How do you top what happened in Buffalo this year at Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh?
That's going to be tough to top that, but being at home, you know, that's a good way to start. I think, you know, that first one, you know, with all the unknowns, never kind of going through it and not knowing what to expect, you know, that was a lot of fun, but at the same time, this is a new place. It's at home, and it's against a team that's developed to be a pretty big rival. So, yeah, I think that they're going to be different, but we're looking forward to it.
I lied. We've looked into the future before. At the end of every one of these interviews we've done now for 5 years, I always ask you how you can top what you did the year before. That's come after winning an MVP and a Stanley Cup. So, Sidney, how do you top what you did last year after scoring 50-plus goals?
I don't know what my answers have been the last few years, but I gotta say Stanley Cup. That's what we play for all the time. That's always what's on my mind, and you know, as much as it's such a long season and a process, you know, it really starts from game one, and I think that's where your mind has to be. And there's 29 other teams that are thinking the same thing, but you know, that's always where you want to be.
Number 87, the captain, and